Hello guys, this is Pedram Raufi and you're watching the trading review of the market. We are going to go through the stock market situation, Forex market. We are going to see what kind of trading strategies we can actually use for today's day traders. And of course, we're going to go through the cryptocurrency market and look what kind of opportunities we could have on the cryptocurrency market as well. We're going to actually see what is going on the news background which we have, and going through the economic calendar of the day, looking through the MetaTrader charts of main assets of Forex market, stock market, as well cryptocurrency market, as I said. There was a news which we had yesterday about that Tesla director Elon Musk is going to sell about 10% of the shares of the company of Tesla. Elon Musk, the president of Tesla, and of course the SpaceX, the very important and famous person in the crypto world, which could easily dump and pump Bitcoin prices or Dogecoin prices, somehow the Shiba Inu prices as well. And as we saw after yesterday's news, prices of Tesla have been dumped. It was rising very wildly. It was rising very sharply, as we see on the daily chart of Tesla shares. I can actually show you a 15-hour chart, so you would see how is the situation going on due to the midterm scale, due to the short-term scale, and we actually can see that the gap which was here open, it's actually closed, and shares are kind of getting dumped again. What could go next? What would happen next? Nobody knows. But with the opening of today's American session, the prices could maybe start to dump a little more. There is a moment that we have a gap here which could really get closed maybe, but the consolidational movement, the probability of continuation of consolidational movement in the midterm, in the near future, or maybe somehow some dumpings as well, is more higher than fast rise of the prices in the near future. Let's see what is going on with the economic calendar of today's, and after that we're going to go through the United States dollar and 10 years yield prices, and then we're going to look through the stock market indexes prices, what are they doing, how they showing themselves, and after that we're going to actually check the prices of Forex assets and cryptocurrency assets as well. Today we have two different kind of releases. The most important one of them is the speech of European Central Bank chief, the speech of Federal Reserve System chief, and the speech of the British Bank chief as well. They are going to happen during the at the end of the European session, the start of the American session. And all of the speeches could really help the prices to get maybe dumped or pumped. Here is different predictions about all of this bank's monetary policy. As you know, Federal Reserve System is not going to hike the interest rates in the near future. European Bank as well, it's not going to hike them in the near future. But British Bank, many people are really scared that British Bank could maybe tighten the monetary policy in the near future. So we have to pay attention that maybe the British Bank, the speech of the chief of the British Bank could really be more hawkish, which could mean that the price of pounds could get pumped a little. Let's look through the United States dollar prices, which is the third day that they are actually falling, as you see. And of course, the price of the 10 years yield, which have a really straight impact, straight correlation on the United States dollar index prices. the fall in of the prices of the 10 years yield, which could cause the fall of United States dollar, which is going on nowadays, and it could really continue because here we have the potential of continuing the downward movement of dollar prices due to the daily chart. And let's see what is going on. It's 4 hours chart, which is a midterm chart. And here actually we have the potential of downward movement in the future. And in the 15-minute chart, which is a short-term chart, we have a correctional movement, which is really short-term correctional movement. So this correctional movement for today is kind of enough because the impulsiveness of United States dollar rising movement is really powerful. This impulsiveness is the main reason why the prices could really maybe reverse or maybe get into the consolidation during the today's American session. Economic calendar is very full for today, and at the 5 o'clock, at the 5 o'clock by GMT, by Greenwich time, we have the releases of the EIA, the energy agency, the short-term energy outlook, which prognosis could really impact on the oil prices and of course the gas prices as well. As you know, the oil prices kind of getting dumped previously because the United States President Biden is actually caused a real big pressure on the OPEC to increase the volume of the oil reserves, and this fact could really make oil prices to get dumped more because the President of the United States is interested in the end of the crisis, energy crisis, which is now going on. Because of the energy crisis, now the prices of the oil is kind of getting higher and higher, and of course they are high in any way, and the gas prices are high as well. But the President of the United States is kind of try to make OPEC to increase the oil producing, and of course the president of Russia is, as he actually promised to give Europe the amount of gas that they need, but physically it can't actually supply this amount of gas because of this factor. Maybe the prices of gas could really continue to rise, as we see due to the daily charts. We have a potential of next downward movement, but $5 is a very important level which could get retested, and after the retest of $5 we could get reversed. So the only potential here is $5, and how impulsively we get near to this $5, the probability of next reversal would be higher. So we have to pay attention on this fact as well. Let's go through the stock market, how they feel, how the price of stock market due to the daily chart is continue to rising. This movement is very with a very low amplitude, which is kind of suspicious because there is no energy here due to the 4-hour chart of Dow Jones Industrial Index and due to the 4-hour chart of S&P 500, which we see the amplitude is really low. And here we kind of have the signs of a maybe short-term reversal, but we need to know that by now we don't have any factors that could really make stock market, Dow Jones S&P 500 to get dumped really sharply. They don't have any kind of triggers, they don't have any kind of factors on the market. We don't actually have them because the United States of America is going to continue the stimulus program. It's not going to cut it. It's going to cut it only at the next year, and the tightening of monetary policy is not going to happen in the near future as well. So all of these factors help the Dow Jones and S&P 500 to rise, and of course the dollar indexes could really get dumped more and more. There is a potential of their next dumping movement. And as we said about the S&P 500, 4,800, we are waiting for this level. We are waiting for this level, and we were waiting for it from 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. We told you that 4,800, that's a level that Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, they're talking about it, and Bloomberg as well is talking about this level, which could get retested in the near future. And for Dow Jones, here is actually the next potential of the retest of 36,600, 36,800, or let's be straight, just say 37,000, which is a real far target, but it could really get fulfilled in the near future as well. So we have to pay attention on the factor that after the finish of these correctional downward movements, we could get next rising upward movement, which could let us to retest the target levels for S&P 500 and for Dow Jones, the new maximums as we are talking about. Euro to dollar Forex pairs, main Forex pairs, pound to dollar, Australian dollar to United States dollar, and New Zealand dollar to United States dollar. All of them are kind of continuing the consolidation due to the daily chart. But what we can do with these assets during the day, as you see, the dollar is kind of correctionally moving upwards. So in the minute chart, in the 5-minute chart, of or 15-minute chart of pound to dollar, we're actually observing the impulsive downward correctional movement. So here, as you see, for GBP, for a pound of sterling to United States dollar, the situation looks like that. We are getting impulsively retest the local support. So when we impulsively retest the local support, next movement have to be reversal. We're waiting for reversal movement. We're waiting for the end of this downward movement. The impulse is already happened. So if we won't get under 1.3550, if we won't get under this level during the day, it would be the real good reason to return to buys. So now buyers are kind of resting, they are not playing, but the bears, doesn't look like that. The bears fundamentally, technically have a real power to make the pound go under the level of 1.3550. So we have to wait for the retest of 1.3550 for GBP. And let's see what's going on with euro. The chart doesn't want to get refreshed. So here we have 15-minute chart, which is showing us the situation, which really looks like the situation on the GBP USD chart. And here is the retest of the local support as well, 1.1580, or let's say 1.1575. This range have to get retest, and how impulsive would get to retest this range, the probability of next reversal could be higher. So before the reversal happens, we have to wait for a consolidational movement or a volatility widening. So after the retest of the bottom of the market or any local support, as in this example, we have to wait for the next consolidational movement. It means that the next stop of a downward movement or downward impulse, or the widening of the impulse, the widening of the volatility, after which the next reversal would be more possible. The next reversal, the continuance of the next reversal. And we could be more sure that the next reversal could at least continue to the middle of this impulse, at least to 1.1590, 1.1595. So after the impulsive movements and after the retest of the local supports or local resistance, we have to wait for prices due to the scale in which we are trading. We have to pay attention to wait for the next consolidational movement, decreasing of the volatility or the widening of the volatility. And after this, only after this, we could actually get a more sure reversal, which could at least continue to the middle of previous impulse. So here for buyers, we are actually kind of waiting, but for scalpers during the day, maybe you can actually continue the shorts. Maybe you can continue the shorts. There is different signals that for scalpers during the day you can actually continue the shorts. But if you work with the charts, a 4-hour chart, 1-hour chart, it means that you are a midterm trader. So you have to wait for the retest of local supports. Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar, as always, they show the situation which could happen to euro and to pound more faster than it happened to euro or pound. It happens mostly always. And due to the situation which we have here, they already reversed from the local support, which is here, Australian dollar, due to the daily chart. And let's see what is going on in the 15-minute chart. We have a correctional downward movement potential, which could continue for scalpers. All of this actually for scalpers to 0.474, but you have to pay attention that here we have a widening of the widening formation, which means that during this situation you cannot trade. Not long, not short. It's really dangerous because the widening formation, the widening of volatility, it means that you have to wait for a reversal. And after the reversal started, you have to start, in this case, short position. So here you have to be really careful for scalpers, maybe during the day, maybe during some hours. We have a potential of downward impulsive movement. So for all of these assets, 0.7140, 0.7135, it's a range which could get retested for New Zealand dollar as well. But we are waiting for the finishing of this downward movement. This downward movement is really correctional. For euro, for pound, for New Zealand dollar, and for Australian dollar, this downward movement is really correctional because the dollar index in midterm could really continue the downward movement. And let's see what is going on to the assets, to the commodity, to the risk assets. The risk assets like gold, like silver, like platinum, the price of these assets get higher and higher when something wrong is going on with the markets. In this case, why they are rising actually? Because of the downward movement of dollar. It means that when the price of dollar get dumped, the gold prices kind of get higher. And the other reason is the infection background, the continuation of the rising in the cases in the world of COVID-19. And as you know, not all countries vaccinated fully, not all countries are ready to maybe don't use lockdowns. So here, especially for the Far Eastern countries like China, like the countries which are really economically powerful, and they are under this pressure in them, in India, in China, in Singapore. The rising of the cases is really affect the markets, really affect the Chinese market. Next, it affect the Americans, the United States market, and mostly it affect and it caused the rise in the prices of gold, in the commodity risk assets, gold, silver, and platinum. But let's look technically what is going on with the gold prices. Previously, the daily chart is showing us that the gold prices have broke 3 days ago. Have broke the local support, but the amplitude is getting really low. Here, as you see, in the 1-hour chart and in the 4-hour chart for gold, we have a really visible divergence between the oscillator of RSI oscillator and the maximums of the price. So this could be a signal of next reversal, and there is a very important level which could, with the retest of which could really mean many things to us. During 3 months, during last 3 months, 4 months, it actually was concentrating on this level, because if we get stuck under this level, mostly we have to go short. If we get strengthened above this level, we have to go long. And this is a really important factor, technical factor, which could help you for trading. So we are waiting for the next retest of this level actually. The amplitude is getting lower. Here, as we see, we have a divergence, and there is mostly the we have probability of next downward movement of gold prices. What is going on with the silver prices due to the 4 hour chart, due to the let's say 1 hour chart? Here the divergence is not so visible. There is some divergence, but we have to pay attention that maybe for silver the amplitude is really low. So $24.20 is the level which could get retested. But after the retest of this level, maybe we could have the next reversal. So here is a really important mirror level for silver and for gold as well. Is kind of a mirror level here. Let's say 1820 is a real good mirror level, and due to the retest of this level, we could actually say that maybe the continuation of the rising here in the short term is more likely, but at last we have to get some downward impulse to retest 1800, and after that 1810 maybe, and after that continue the rise. So with gold prices, as we said from months ago, the prices are going to rise because of the monetary policy of the United States. Monetary policy of the United States is not going to get tightened. The stock market is rising really slowly, but it's rising. And the situation with COVID is really understandable due to the high level of infection, especially in the far eastern countries. So all of these factors help together so the gold prices could rise further, and the silver prices as well, and the platinum, which we are going to check it now, it's actually continuing the upward movement as well. Maybe during the day we could have some downward movement for platinum, but platinum is showing us a real interesting retest of the mirror level of 1,400, 1,050, 1,045, and this mirror level is getting retested, and now we are actually observing the widening of the volatility. We are observing the retest of this level, which could mean that maybe next movement it have to be an upward movement. But dollar is kind of correctionally now rising. So for all of the buyers of commodity, gold, silver, and platinum, you have to be careful that dollar needs to finish the correctional upward movement, which is now continuing. So after this, we could actually be more sure about the downward positions, about the short position, about the long positions for silver, for gold, and for platinum as well. So we have to really be careful, because these mirror levels which I showed you, 2420 for silver, and 1820 for gold, and 1050 for platinum, all of these mirror levels are now retesting, and this retest could be really impulsive. So we could get dumped really sharply in a moment with a 1 hour candle or 30-minute candle. So we have to really be careful. After this kind of movement, we actually could get into buys again. We could get into midterm buys again, mostly. USD dollar to JPY is now continuing the downward movement for past weeks, but this downward movement is really doesn't have the power which had dollar previously. So as you know, the dollar was mostly more powerful to yen, and the main reason was that the new minister of the Japan was going to and is going to continue the stimulus, continue to approve the economic stimulus. So this factor make a real big pressure on the yen. So mainly the yen cannot be so powerful even when dollar is continuing the downward movement in the midterm. Because of the weakness of yen by himself, the downward movement of this pair is really without amplitude. It's really unpowerful. It's really weak. So here, especially due to the retest of a really important level of 113, maybe in the near future you have to wait for some correctional movements here. Maybe some correctional movements, but dollar doesn't look that it's going to really continue the rise. If dollar really continue the rise, so this picture here could be really bullish, and it could maybe continue to 113.50. United States dollar to Swedish franc is already reversing from the trend line, and this reversal could really continue in the midterm, but in short term we have a real big impulse, and the mirror level of 0.9140 is retesting. So after the retest of this mirror level, we could be more sure. If we get strengthened above this level, this could be a really good sign. And if we get stuck under this level, this could be a very bad sign for bulls or for buyers, so we could continue, so we could get into short positions again if we get stuck under this level. Oil prices, as we said, they're continuing the dump because the President Biden is actually leave under pressure OPEC to increase the volume of oil producing. But here the situation, because OPEC Plus is not going to increase the level, increase the volume of oil producing, the oil prices is not dumping so really fastly. But the next movements of United States president could really make the oil prices to be under the pressure. So we have to really see what is OPEC going to answer him, what is OPEC going to do. OPEC Plus is the only power nowadays which could really make the oil prices to not get dumped so fastly, so sharply. So we have to pay attention on this factor. Due to the 4-hour chart, due to the 30-minute chart, we are observing a consolidation after a really impulsive movement. Here, unfortunately, we don't have the opportunity of a stable upward movement. So we have to wait for an impulsive upward movement. For scalpers, there could be a really good moment to maybe continue the long positions to $81.800, $81.600, $81.60, $81.80, and maybe the long positions in the near future could be a good. Actually, due to this impulse, I'm so suspicious. But during the day, maybe they could get more pumped, and after that, they could get dumped. Today's EIA releases are very important, so we have to listen to them. We have to look what kind of prognosis got EIA, the energy agency, and after that, the oil prices could really show they're going to pump or they're going to dump. As you know, here the consolidation actually show us that after a very impulsive movement, we could really get dumped as well. But you have to pay attention to the daily chart, which show us that the daily candle is opened above the previous candle. And maybe if today's day continues with a downward impulsive movement of oil, and if we won't get under 79 or 78, if we won't get under this level, this could mean that maybe the pumping of oil prices in the midterm could continue. So we have to really be sure that we are not getting under 79.40, 79.30, or $78. So we don't have to get under. If we get under this level, that could be really bad for oil prices. And of course, as this dollar to Canadian dollar, it could really continue the upward movement if United States dollar continue to rise and if the oil prices continue the downward movement. But if the oil prices get pumped, the Canadian dollar could get more powerful, so this pair won't go the upward further. Today's daily candle make me really this is a really scary situation in some way, but there is a very important level, this level, above which we are getting strengthened. So 1.2420 is a really important level. We hadn't get through this level for 3 previous days. And the amplitude above this level is really short. So could we really believe that dollar prices could rise and this pair could rise further? But this scenario could be the midterm scenario. So we have to wait for the retest of 1.2420. If this retest would be impulsive, this would mean that maybe next movements could be consolidation and reversal. So maybe for the scalpers here, short positions are as well under the risk, even the short positions. So we have to really wait for the correctional downward impulsive retest, and after that, this downward impulsive retest could be really fulfilled in a really low, with a really low potential of the movement. So even for scalpers, I'm not so sure that they could take something from the short positions here. Even short positions here are under suspicion. So here maybe we could really believe that the next upward movement and the moderate upward movement could continue. There's the only scenario that could really continue for US dollar to Canadian dollar. And of course, the Bitcoin prices, which have been renewed the maximums, $68 already, $68,000 already. And Ethereum, it actually retested the target level of 4,800, as we said. And now we have some correctional movement, which is really correctional, which is really midterm, which it could be really midterm, short term. So there is a correctional potential to 4,600 for Ethereum, not more, and for Bitcoin as well. There's a correctional potential to 63,000 maybe, but because the impulsiveness is really high. But I think that the upward movement, today's upward movement, could continue. For Bitcoin, today's upward movement could continue, and it could maybe even get retest 70,000, maybe 73,000. It could really get retest 70,000, 73,000 in the future. So get ready for the Bitcoin's next upward movement. Ethereum shows us that it wants to get into consolidational movement, but Ethereum as well could really continue to retest 5,000. Many analysts already said that Ethereum have to get pumped to 5,000. So we are waiting Ethereum on 5,000. Thank you guys for watching this video. I wish you liked it. If you have any question or maybe comments, don't forget to comment under this video, like it, and of course don't forget to subscribe on our channel and ring the bell so you would know what kind of project, what kind of programs we have, and what kind of programs are coming up next. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Till next time, have good tradings. Bye bye.